Peter Claffey, the talented Irish actor stepping into the iconic role of Ser Duncan the Tall in the highly anticipated Game of Thrones spin-off series A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, has opened up about his profound admiration for the legendary author behind the entire Westeros universe, George R.R. Martin. The series, which premiered on HBO, draws directly from Martin's beloved novellas known collectively as the Tales of Dunk and Egg. These stories transport viewers nearly a century back in time before the events of the original Game of Thrones saga, offering a fresh yet familiar glimpse into the intricate world Martin meticulously crafted over decades. Claffey, at 29 years old, has long been a devoted fan of the original Game of Thrones television series. He describes himself as a massive enthusiast of the show, someone deeply immersed in its epic storytelling, complex characters, and sprawling mythology. This passion naturally extended to the books that inspired it all, penned by Martin himself, an American author renowned not only for his fantasy novels but also for his work as a television writer and producer. Martin's bibliography includes cornerstone works like A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, A Feast for Crows, A Dance with Dragons, Fire and Blood, and the long-awaited The Winds of Winter, among others. These books have captivated millions worldwide with their blend of political intrigue, moral ambiguity, dragons, knights, and unpredictable twists. In a candid interview, Claffey shared details of an extended, meaningful conversation he had with Martin. The two spent hours together, particularly during a memorable dinner, discussing the original Game of Thrones series in depth. Claffey recounted how he geeked out over favorite scenes, characters, and moments from the show that had left a lasting impact on him. As a self-proclaimed ginormous nerd, when it comes to superheroes, fantasy worlds, and all things imaginative, he relished the opportunity to dive into these topics with the very creator responsible for bringing them to life. The discussion flowed naturally, fueled by mutual enthusiasm for the rich lore of Westeros. What struck Claffey most about Martin was the author's approachable and grounded personality. Far from being an aloof literary giant, Martin came across as super down-to-earth and entirely normal. Claffey emphasized how Martin genuinely enjoys talking about his creation, the world he built from the ground up, complete with its histories, houses, battles, and mysteries. There's a shared joy in these exchanges. Martin delights in revisiting the intricacies of his universe, and Claffey loves exploring them as a passionate admirer. He described Martin as really sweet, and a really lovely guy, highlighting the warmth and openness that define their interactions. This connection is especially significant given Claffey's role in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The series centers on Ser Duncan the Tall, a towering, earnest, and somewhat naive hedge knight who embodies chivalry in its purest, most idealistic form. Duncan travels the realm with his young squire, Egg, a boy with a hidden royal identity who will one day become King Aegon V. Targaryen. Played by Dexter Sol Ansel, Egg forms a touching, almost brotherly bond with Duncan as they navigate tournaments, injustices, and the rigid class structures of Westeros. The stories are lighter in tone compared to the grim darkness of the main Game of Thrones series, focusing more on themes of honor, friendship, and personal growth amid a medieval-inspired fantasy setting. Claffey's preparation for the role involved not just physical training to embody the imposing stature of Ser Duncan but also immersing himself in Martin's writing. The novellas provide a first-person perspective from Dunk's viewpoint, which influences the show's deliberate storytelling style, keeping audiences aligned closely with the knight's experiences, perceptions, and limitations. This approach preserves the charm and intimacy of the source material, distinguishing it from the broader ensemble-driven narrative of the original series. Martin's involvement in the spin-off extends beyond mere creator status. His willingness to engage directly with the cast, including lengthy discussions with Claffey, speaks to his investment in seeing his earlier, more whimsical tales adapted faithfully. Fans of the original show will appreciate how A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms expands the universe without overshadowing its predecessors. It introduces new layers to Targaryen history, explores the lives of common folk and wandering knights, and offers a more optimistic outlook on heroism in a world often defined by cynicism and betrayal. For Claffey, the experience has been transformative. Landing the part of Ser Duncan allowed him to live out a dream rooted in his lifelong love of fantasy. Chatting with Martin wasn't just professional courtesy, it was a genuine meeting of minds between a creator and an interpreter who both hold deep reverence for the material. These conversations likely enriched Claffey's performance, giving him insights into the nuances of Dunk's character and the broader Westerosi tapestry. As the series unfolds, viewers are treated to a knight's journey that feels both timeless and grounded. Ser Duncan represents the archetypal good-hearted warrior striving to do right in a complicated world, while Egg's secret adds intrigue and foreshadowing for larger historical events. The dynamic between the two leads promises heartfelt moments amid adventures, tournaments, and moral dilemmas.